Over the years, Ubisoft has added more and more ways to breach reinforced walls, whether that be a new operator or the new secondary hard breach gadget. The choice of which hard breacher to pick has been a tough debate. Do you pick Ace for his insane gun? Do you pick Hibana for her insane ability to breach hatches? Or do you pick Thermite for his ability to breach walls so effectively? This is what I'll be answering in this video. I'll be rating every operator in 4 key categories out of 10. Gadget, versatility, loadout, and secondary gadget. The first operator I'll be talking about is Thermite, the OG hard breacher. Thermite's gadget is the exothermic charge. He has access to 2 of these modified breaching charges that allows him to breach reinforced walls with ease. Thermite was the only hard breacher for a really long time. However, over the years, we've gotten 3 more hard breachers with more updated gadgets. The main issue with Thermite's gadget is how slow it is to deploy, and he can only breach 2 walls or 2 hatches. Also, his gadget is extremely map dependent and isn't versatile at all compared to the competition. Thermite thrives on sites where there is a lot of walls or on garages, but as we will get into later, other operators can breach walls while being more versatile. So I'll be giving his gadget a 6 out of 10 and his versatility a 5 out of 10. His loadout consists of the 5.56 assault rifle and the M1014 shotgun as primary options, and the M45 MUSOC and the 5.7 USG as secondary options, which the 5.56 assault rifle is a great option. It is a low recoil and heavy hitting assault rifle with a damage of 47. Albeit it does have a slow fire rate of 690 RPM, but it also has every magnification sight in the game as well. The shotgun obviously isn't a real option in competitive, but it can be fun and casual. On top of his solid primary options, he also has access to one of the best DPS pistols in the game in the form of the MUSOC, which deals an incredible 58 damage per shot. Now his other pistol, the USG, just isn't nearly as good. The pistol does have an incredible mag size of 21 compared to the 8 bullet mag size of the MUSOC, but the damage is just awful comparatively with a damage of only 42. Overall, Thermite has access to a great loadout, which is honestly his strongest aspect. I'll be giving his loadout an 8 out of 10. As for his secondary gadget options, he has access to stuns and smokes, which a couple seasons ago during the utility meta would have been a force to be reckoned with. However, these days stuns and smokes aren't nearly as important. Overall, I'll be giving his secondary gadgets a 5 out of 10. So with a score of 6 out of 10 in the gadget category, a score of 5 out of 10 in versatility, a score of 8 out of 10 for his loadout, and a score of 5 out of 10 for his secondary gadget, his overall score comes out to a 24. We'll see how his scoring holds up to the competition throughout the rest of the video. Next up is Hibana, who has access to 18x Kairos, which are fidget spinners that fire out of her launcher. Once fired, they can be remotely detonated. Her launcher has a select fire option, which allows her to fire 2, 4, or 6 x Kairos at once. 4x Kairos are required to fully breach a hatch, and 12 are required to make a vaultable breach in a wall. As you can tell, Hibana's gadget is far more complicated than Thermite's. However, this is for good reason. Hibana has way more versatility than Thermite. She has the ability to breach 4 hatches or 1 hole in a wall that you can walk through. Also, her ability to switch between different firing modes allows her to easily counter impact tricking. This is a stark difference from Thermite, who, if impact tricked, can't really do anything. If Hibana gets tricked, she just has to shoot 2x Kairos repeatedly until they run out of impacts. So overall, I'm going to be giving her gadget and versatility both scores of 8 out of 10. Her loadout is where things start to go downhill, however. She has access to the Type 89 assault rifle and the Supernova shotgun as primary options, and the P229 handgun and the Bearing 9 machine pistol as secondary options. The Type 89 is a solid assault rifle. It has a damage of 40 and a fire rate of 850, which means it has a higher DPS than Thermite's primary. However, its magazine capacity is abysmal at only 21 bullets per mag. Considering the Type 89 has such a high fire rate, you'll be reloading quite often, and the recent recoil changes has hurt her gun significantly. As for the Supernova, once again, shotguns aren't really taken seriously on attack, but the Supernova can be fun. As for the secondary options, the P229 is a solid pistol option with 51 damage per shot and a capacity of 13 bullets per mag. However, her better secondary option is the Bearing 9, which has a damage of 33, a fire rate of 1100, and a mag size of 26 bullets. This makes the Bearing 9 the clear choice of secondary on Hibana. Overall, her loadout is really solid. It's always strong having a secondary machine pistol, however, I feel like her primary has let her down. I personally think her loadout is slightly worse than Thermite, so I'll be giving it a 6 out of 10. Finally, her secondary gadget choices are solid. She has access to stuns like Thermite and breach charges, which for me, breach charges are the obvious pick for her. Breach charges help her to play vertically, which is her main job. And right now, stun grenades aren't nearly as good as they used to be. Her secondary gadget complements her playstyle well and way more than Thermite's does. So I'll be giving her a 7 out of 10 for secondary gadgets. With a score of 8 out of 10 in the gadget category, 8 out of 10 on versatility, 6 out of 10 on loadout, and 7 out of 10 on the secondary gadgets category, her overall score comes out to a 29, making her 5 points better than Thermite. Now to move on to Maverick, whose gadget is a blowtorch. This blowtorch gives Maverick the ability to burn holes through reinforced walls and hatches. He can use this to completely breach a hatch if enough fuel is used, or to make a reinforced wall soft by burning the bottom and top of a wall. His gadget is extremely strong and allows him to completely bypass anti-breach operators like Bandit, Mute, and Kaid. However, to successfully breach a wall or hatch, you must commit a lot of time to doing so, which is one of his biggest downsides. Maverick can be quite strong depending on the site and the enemy's team comp, but he is extremely situational. He is by far the least versatile out of all the hard breachers. That's not me saying his gadget is bad by any means. His gadget under the right circumstances can be the strongest in the game. Because of this, I'll be giving his gadget a 10 out of 10, but his versatility will be getting a 3 out of 10. The loadout that Maverick has to his disposal is pretty solid. His primary options are between the AR-15 DMR or the M4 assault rifle. The AR-15 DMR is a solid DMR with a damage of 62 and a mag size of 11. Also, the AR has one of the most satisfying gun sounds in the whole game. The M4 has a damage of 44, a fire rate of 750 rounds per minute, a capacity of 31 rounds per mag, and access to the 1.5 optic. It also has really easy to control recoil, which obviously makes it a superior option to the DMR because in Siege, fire rate is everything. As for the secondary options, he only has the 1911 TAC Ops, which has 55 damage and a 9-round magazine size, making it a solid secondary option, but nothing to write home about. Overall, I'll be giving his loadout a 6 out of 10. As for his secondary gadgets, he has access to stuns and claymores, which stuns are just the superior option out of the two. Before this update, I would have been rating this a lot higher because he used to have grenades, and grenades assisted his gadget substantially. Nades gave him the ability to breach walls on his own without assistance of an Ashe or Zofia, and they gave him the ability to clear utility. Without his nades, I'm going to have to give this part a 3 out of 10. With his score in the gadget category of 10 out of 10, 3 out of 10 in the versatility category, 6 out of 10 in the loadout category, and 3 out of 10 in the secondary gadget category, his overall score comes out to 21, which makes him the lowest rated hard breacher in the video by 2 points under Thermite. The final operator left to rate is Ace. Ace has access to 3 Selma breach charges, which is a throwable hard breach gadget. One of these Selma charges can make a vaultable breach in a wall, and 2 of them can breach a hatch completely. This means that in any given round, Ace can breach 1 hatch and 1 wall, or breach 3 walls. The biggest advantage to Ace is his ability to throw his gadget from safety. While Thermite must walk up to the wall and place it manually, leaving him vulnerable to runouts and flanks, Ace doesn't have to do that. He has extreme versatility and can be ran on pretty much any bomb site in the entire game. For this reason, I'll be giving his gadget an 8 out of 10 and his versatility a 10 out of 10. His loadout also meshes extremely well with his gadget. He has access to the AK-12 and the M1014 as primary options, which the AK-12 is an absolute menace. It has 45 damage and a fire rate of 850 rounds per minute, making it by far the best AR available to any hard breacher, and it's arguably one of the best guns in the entire game. The AK-12 also has access to the 1.5 optic, a magazine size of 31, and has easy to control recoil, meaning that the AK-12 has little downsides. So obviously it will be better than the M1014 shotgun. As secondary options go, just like Maverick, he only has access to 1. That secondary being the P9 pistol, which deals 45 damage and has a magazine size of 17 rounds. The P9 has always been an average pistol. There's nothing incredible about it, but there isn't anything bad about it either. For that, I'm going to give his loadout a 9 out of 10. His primary weapon is insane, but his secondary is the only thing holding him back from being a 10 out of 10. Now for the secondary gadgets he has at his disposal. Currently, he has access to breaching charges and claymores. Breaching charges being the obvious pick out of the two. While breaching charges do help Ace play vertically, they don't directly benefit his gadget or playstyle. Also, with EMP impacts and nades being the meta right now, breaching charges aren't great. I'm going to give his secondary gadgets a 5 out of 10. They aren't terrible, but they could be a lot better. With Ace's scores in the gadget category of 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 in the versatility category, 9 out of 10 in the loadout category, and 5 out of 10 in the secondary gadget category, Ace's overall score comes out to 32, beating out Hibana by 3 points. This makes Ace the best hard breacher in the game, Hibana the second best, Thermite the third best, and Maverick the worst. Now, you may be questioning my positioning, but keep in mind, majority of this is completely subjective, and every hard breacher in this game is strong, and all the operators I've talked about today are B tier or higher. So just because Maverick is the worst hard breacher doesn't mean I'm saying that he's a bad operator. Anyways, in summary, I believe the best hard breacher for his sheer versatility and his insanely strong weapons is Ace. I think Hibana is second place for her similar ability to be versatile. However, where she lacks is in her loadout. The AK-12 just outclasses the Type 89 in every way, and that is the only reason why I put her below Ace. I think they are both S tier, and there is an argument for putting her above Ace. However, I just thought that the AK-12 gave Ace such a huge advantage that I just figured it was warranted to put him above Hibana. As for Thermite, I think he belongs in third place. He is just a definition of average. He doesn't have much versatility, and his loadout and secondary gadget options are average. So there just isn't much going for him. He's basically just your middle-of-the-row hard breacher. Now, finally, for Maverick, if this was a season ago, back when he had frags, I would have put him second or even first. But him losing his nades completely gutted him. His gadget isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but his nades just helped his gadget to be that much stronger. They allowed him to breach walls on his own and to clear wall denial. Him losing them made him drop significantly. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate it if you could consider subscribing. I'm trying my best to hit 3K by the end of the year, and your sub could make a difference. If I haven't earned your sub yet, you could go and watch this video, and hopefully it will change your mind. Anyways, I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.